Hi everybody, this is Jennifer with NorthwestStamper.com, and today I wanted to share with you a little about the new ink pads from Stampin' Up! Now, I know it was a lot of confusion when the retirement list came out back in April or May, where people were going, oh no, all the colors are retiring. But that's not the case. What was going on is Stampin' Up! Was actually changing the physical pads and boxes that these ink pads came in. So this is one of the new ink pads. Oops. This is one of the old ink pads. Can't really tell a difference, can you? Not from the outside, except for there's a couple differences. On the physical packaging, instead of this being printed on, there's now a shiny label, which, sure, that's fine and all. But the nice thing is, instead of on the ends, where they just say classic and have a color, your ends are blank. And you may go, well, why is that a benefit? Because on the back, you have labels with names. I don't know about you, but I like having labels with names. So what you can do is you can just peel up your word of choice. And I know it takes a little bit to get it off sometimes, but so I'm going to put the English one on. You just take it. You can line it up, put it down, and now you have the name and the color of your ink pad on the end. So when it's sitting in your caddy, if you have a caddy or other stacker, you can see exactly which colors you're grabbing. So those are some of the bigger outer changes. Otherwise, they're still the same grippies, same opening method. But then the inside is different as well. So now we're using the new firm foam, and a lot of people are really unclear on what that is. And so that's what I wanted to show you today. So our pads that we had last year were a linen. It's kind of hard to see on here. But oftentimes what people would see is sometimes you'd get texture. But really the biggest complaint people had was that as your ink pad dried out, or the more you used it, the center would kind of indent in. So you'd have high, low, high on your ink pads. Well, they've done some changes, and so now with this new firm foam, you can see there's not that texture. This is a very solid, more dense foam. It's actually very squishy as well. So whereas before I would always tell people to go twist, twist, tap, tap with your stamp, you're not really going to want to twist anymore. It's going to be more of just a tapping because it is so rich with ink that you will get awesome coverage without needing to do that extra work. And just to sort of show you some examples, I figured I'd grab some of my stamps. This is the new Betsy's Blossom stamp set right up here, but here's the big flower from it. And you've probably run into in the past when you had a big solid image like this, at the center of your image you sometimes had a hard time inking up. So that's what I figured I'd show you first. So you can't really twist. I kind of wiggle a little. I'll do it this way so you can see without the glare. So you can kind of wiggle and tap. And you may miss a little because I'm picking up my ink pad. But you don't need to actually push too hard. Just sort of go like that, tap, tap. And you'll get pretty solid coverage. And then here's the best part. You flip it over, stamp, and you get a super duper solid image. Check that out. How awesome is that? I didn't even have to work very hard for it. And that's like that. So pretty nice to be able to do that. And this, because this is a foam, you're not going to get that indent in the middle over time. It'll use the same reinkers that you had before, so if you have one of the colors and you buy a new ink pad because you want the foam, but you still had, say, your chocolate chip reinker, it's still going to work. There's 5 colors that it doesn't work with because they had to reformulate, and I have those on the screen for you. But everything else, you're going to be able to just use your old reinker with the new. So I figured I'd grab one more. This is from the Letter It alphabet stamp set. Again, this is a super solid image, and so sometimes you'd run into not getting the coverage you wanted. So I just sort of go tap, 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 and this is using Midnight Muse. And I still say flip it over and look and see. And the other thing I've noticed, I'll sort of give you a little tip here. I've noticed that I sometimes, because it's so squishy until you get used to it, you'll get some of that ink around the edges. But I've actually found it not transferring over to my paper, which is awesome. So just ink it up a little, stamp, and super solid image. Check it out. See if I can get my camera to focus. But there is a very solid image for you. So that is the big differences. So definitely some great improvements. I know pretty much everyone I talk to loves the changes, loves the new ink pads. So for comparison, see if I can get it. We have linen and foam. Foam is going to be the way to go. So I hope this helps you, and if you have any questions about these new ink pads or how they work or what's different, feel free to send me an email or leave me a comment, and I'd be happy to answer it for you. Take care and have a great day. Thank you.